Welcome everybody to another segment of the Black Girl Encourage Her. I am your host, Sheniqua Inspires. We are here and we are bringing forth encouragement for everybody, just from a Black girl perspective. Today is extra special, just like every other segment has been. I've got one of my amazing sister friends here with me, and I'm telling you all that every time I encounter her, I leave feeling encouraged, I leave feeling empowered and abundantly blessed. So it is my great pleasure to bring to you all to the stage one of my longtime friends, Lisette McKenzie. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, Miss
How are
Encourager.
you?
How are you?
I am blessed. I am so excited that you said yes. Not that I doubted that you would, because you have always made yourself available to me. And please know that I am so honored and so grateful for that. But not only did you say yes to me, you said yes to everybody who's watching. That is something
Absolutely.
right there. That is something right there.
Absolutely.
Because as women, as and even some men, we are always accustomed to being the ones to say yes to everybody else. And we're like, well, who's going to say yes to me? Who's going to stand in the gap for me? Who's going to show up for me? And this is what this segment is all about. The Black Girl Encourage Her is that we are coming together and we are offering up that encouragement. And yes, it is a yes. We are doing this for the viewers. And listen, it's a little bit for me too, because I have been so blessed. But I am excited to have you here. My sister, I know you. So I feel like we could just dive right in, but I want to give the audience a chance to connect with you. And for some, it will be to reconnect with you. So please tell us about a little bit about Miss Lisette McKenzie.
Thank you, Shaniqua. So where do I start? First of all, I'm loving this energy. I think this is a platform that we all need. There can never be enough encouragement, especially for
Mhm.
Black women. And I hear a lot, oh, well, it's so saturated. The environment is so saturated. There's always this, there's always that. There's only one Shaniqua Inspires, and you're giving your messages, and the people who need to receive it are receiving it. So of
Amen.
course I'm gonna show up for this. Are you kidding me? But about me, my name is Lisette. Shaniqua we've known each other since sixth grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, since sixth grade, and it has been a journey. I gone through so many things. It led me to life coaching. It led me to opening up my business life lessons and love sessions. My journey has taken me to enrolling in school and getting a master's degree for clinical mental health
Whoop,
counseling,
whoop, whoop.
doing a podcast. My journey has taken me to so many places. Um, and it didn't always work out. And one thing I
Mhm.
want to just fall back on, Shaniqua, is the part where you said saying yes.
Mhm.
And saying yes to yourself is a big, big component to any success. So I'm going to get into all of that, and it's going to go into my business, my podcast, my school, my everything, all the things that I was showing up for, but I just wasn't showing up for myself. And
Mm.
that's a part of what I want to encourage everyone to do is to just show up for yourself. Show up for you the way you show up for everybody else.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
in addition to that, because Shaniqua done threatened me, if I don't talk about my book, I do. I am the author of a book called Making Peace with Broken Pieces.
Yeah.
And that's just another segment of me and the journey that I went on, the hurtful journey that I went on that taught me so much. Um, so yeah, that's me. That's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Now, I do want to dive into a little bit more about your story, but I want to piggyback on what it is that you said. You said about people saying yes to themselves. How do people do that? Because I really don't think people understand, or there's not a logical thought behind it, so it doesn't always get done. So let's just hit it. Like, how do people say yes to themselves?
You know what, Shaniqua? Sometimes you just got to do it.
Hmm.
We spend so much time trying to get all of our ducks in a row. We have to wait
Hmm.
for this to happen. We got to wait for this to line up. We got to wait for that person to do this. Listen, at one point in my life, I had so many ducks. It was time for me to get them neutered and spayed because they were never, ever, ever going to be all in a row. I had
Yes.
to get them taken care of so they could fly the coop, so I could focus on me.
Yes.
And we get caught up in other people telling us, when somebody see you working on you, they're gonna look at you side eye if they're
Mhm.
not for you, right? They're
Yeah.
gonna look at you and they're gonna be like, oh, you're selfish. Oh, you only think about
Mm.
yourself. You know what? Then you got to get to a point in your life when you're like, you're right. I am thinking about myself, and not feel bad about it. Not feel bad about it, because people are going to want you to not say yes to yourself,
Mhm.
because that's taking away from all the yeses you've been given to them.
Yes. Or at least that's what they think, right? They think if you're showing up for yourself, that you're not going to be available to show up for them. And that's a it's a bad misconception, because if I'm showing up for me, then I've got this energy, I've got this power, and then I'm looking for someone to bless. I'm looking for someone to love on with all of this that I've been able to fulfill myself with. So I think people need to understand, those people who are accustomed to being on the gimme, gimme, gimme side, they don't even realize, like, let me take care of me, and I promise I'm going to be better for you. So
Absolutely.
it's not that we're totally not going to ever do anything in life for anybody else, but it is about, wait a second, I got to put the oxygen mask on me first. Right, we've all heard that. So I think that is a key thing. And as Lizette said, sometimes you got to be like Nike, and you just got to do
You
it.
have to
Right, you
do it.
just got to do
You
it.
got
You
to do
just
it.
got to say, it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
It's my turn.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
Lizette, I know there has been times in your life, like as if you had more than one, right? In your life,
Sometimes
it feels that way, right?
coming or going, it has felt that way. So yes, my lives,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, in your lives, right? In your many lives, there's been a time where you didn't always focus on you. It was always about someone else and someone else's needs. Tell us a little bit about that time in your life when you didn't even have the encouragement for yourself. You didn't say yes to Lizette.
Let me see which life I'm gonna look
Yeah,
at.
exactly.
Let's see. There have been many of those moments, Shaniqua, and
Mhm.
I wrote about that in my book, Making Peace with Broken Pieces, where I just wanted to please. I was a big people pleaser. And no matter, and the ironic thing is, no matter how much I tried to do for people, they still tried to make it seem like I was being selfish. And that just made me go harder and harder for them. And I was depleting myself even more, not even
Mhm.
realizing, like, and it got to the point where it was so normal that I thought that that's the way life was supposed to be, right?
Mhm.
So just, I have the kids, and of course I got to show up for my kids and, their father, and I'm doing all these things and accepting all these crazy things um, that really didn't make life happy, and didn't have to be what life was about. But because I wanted to people please, I wanted
Mhm.
everybody to be happy. I wanted to make sure everybody was okay. I felt like that was my role. I made that my role, my position in life, to take care of other people and not pour a drop of life
Mhm.
into myself. And when I tell you I was dying, I was dying. I mean,
Mhm.
dying, to the point where I couldn't walk the streets without crying. And I thought it was me. I was like, what is wrong with me? Why I'm doing all these great things for all these people? I can cook this, I can work all day, I can go to school, I come home and I can cook, I clean. Sometimes I clean, I ain't even gonna lie. Sometimes it's not it ain't gonna happen.
You got
But
to pick your battles. That's all.
sometimes, but I'm doing all these things, but I'm so unhappy. And I couldn't figure out, and it started making me feel like, why am I so why am I so selfish? Why can
Mhm.
I not be happy that I'm able to do all these things for all these people, and I still feel like I got this hole. There's this hole. I'm just this empty space.
Mhm.
And the problem was I'm showing up for everybody else. I'm not showing up for the person that I needed to show up for, and that was me. I needed me. They didn't
Yes.
necessarily need me. All, they were good, but I
Mhm.
needed me, and I didn't know how to show up for myself. I just wasn't showing up because I was conditioned to believe, or I allowed myself to believe that to show up for me, to do one good thing for me,
Mhm.
meant that I was being selfish,
Yeah.
and it was killing me.
Yeah. I think it's a common feeling. We've all have probably experienced that at some point in our lives, and if you haven't, well, kudos to you. But keep living, because there might become a time. But I am thankful that you did start showing up for yourself. And when did you have that kind of epiphany moment? Was there like a moment where the light bulb went off and you were like, wait a second, I got to do this for me?
Listen, I think the light bulb went off a million and one time. It would cut on like, hey, this is your moment. And I would turn it back off. And it would flick back on. And I'm like, look, like I'm gonna
It's like,
unscrew you.
no, no,
And no,
I'll let them have it. Turn it off.
yeah, like, no, this is like it's too bright in here.
Hmm.
Fear kept
Wow.
me in a space where I just could not see myself being better. And it
Wow.
wasn't until I left New York, I moved to North Carolina, and I found peace. Like I had
Mm,
never experienced in over 20 years, I had never experienced the peace of being able to get my thoughts together, to think and not have someone else talking in my ear telling me my thoughts were wrong, and
mhm,
not having somebody else say, well, maybe you should do this instead of doing that. I actually surrounded myself with strangers who were encouraging me to do things that I liked.
hmm,
And when I felt that, it felt weird at first, but then it started to feel good. And girl, when I tell you I did not go back, there
mhm.
was nothing that the old me wanted
Yes.
that could come into my new space.
Yes.
And I encourage
Absolutely.
everyone to, it's scary. I'm not gonna lie and say, oh, it's always easier said than done. It is scary.
Mhm. Yeah.
But sometimes like you said, you gotta be like Nike. You gotta just do it.
Yes.
You're not gonna die. You're not gonna die.
Yeah.
Because look, how many bad days have you had before today? And you're able to sit here today and say that you made it.
Mhm.
You're not gonna die.
Yeah. But if you stay the same, you may.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You
Yeah.
will. You will whittle away. There's no
Mhm.
life. You're not getting any oxygen. And
Mhm.
the sad part is it just feels like it's normal. It feels like this is what life
Mhm.
conditioned already to believe that this is what all life is. This is all you getting. And
Yeah.
it is not true. Man, listen. That grass, there is some greener grass that is not in your neighbor's yard. It's your grass. You just have not gone to collect it.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. And it's like we have to elevate our taste buds, right? We have to have the want, the desire for more. And that's how more, it's like the power of attraction. So when we start thinking about what life could be like, when we start thinking about the greater things and the finer things, that's when they start to come to us. We start to see the plan or the path in order to be able to get there. So yeah, you have to start just dreaming a
Mhm.
little bigger, imagining what life. Now you could have a good life, you have a good job, and you got a roof over your head. And yes, we're always thankful for the things that we've been blessed with, but there's more.
There's definitely
There
more.
is always more. So I love how you shared that you got a taste. of peace. And at first it was like, what is this strange fruit?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
this
Look,
tastes different.
it's one of these, like, let me, what is
Like,
that?
that's good. And then it's like that's all you want to eat. And let somebody try to put their hand in your plate of peas. You like, whoa. You gotta back it up with
You
that
will pull
because
back a nub.
you've tasted it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was
absolutely.
good. It
It
was
was
good.
delicious.
I love
It
that.
made me sad. It made me sad to think that for all the years that that light bulb had been
Mm,
turning on, trying to alert me, you know, look, there's things out there for you. This is not for you. This is not for you. And I would let it go. You know, I'm like, no, no, no. But once I did, and you know what? When you think about it, it at first I was upset with myself because I allowed myself to live in unhappiness for so long.
yeah.
But when I had the chance to really sit and think about it, I probably wouldn't have been able to accept it. I wasn't in a space where I was
Mm,
ready to appreciate all the things that were meant for me. And it at that point in time, I probably would have messed it up.
mm-hmm.
Probably would have messed it up because I wasn't in the right state of mind. I'm reaching for things that just didn't belong. So it took me all that time to get to a place where I could finally say, you know what, I like the way this freedom tastes. I like the way this happiness tastes. I think I'm gonna eat it more often.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It tastes good. I can attest to that. It
Yeah.
tastes really, really good. And we have to know that we are worthy of
Yes.
it. But sometimes, Lizette, people, they opportunities come their way, right? Opportunities come their way, and they may start saying yes to a little bit of things here and there, but they're not fully into it, or they're in it. They're trying to do things for themselves, but they are just being attacked by obstacles, the naysayers, and it's really wearing them down to the point where they're like, you know what? I'm just not going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I, it's just costing too much. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to go back to school. I'm just going to withdraw. I'm not going to go seek after a new job. I'm just going to stay where I'm at. I'm not going to go after those opportunities. I'm not going to move to a different state to try to find my peace. It just costs too much.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to those individuals?
I would have to ask them to tell me about a time where they fought so hard for something or for someone
Mm-hmm.
um, that didn't have anything to do with them. They fight for those bad relationships.
Mm.
They fight to keys to stay in these jobs that don't even pay them enough. They fight, 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 fight. Why they
Mm.
can't fight for themselves the way they fighting for all these things that are not benefiting them at
Yeah.
any rate?
Yeah.
That is my biggest question because that's the question that I've always had to ask myself. Why are you fighting for this? And then when it comes to something that is meant to uplift me, I can't do it. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to walk away than to fight when it's for you. But you will go to combat. You will put on your Tims, you will put on your army fatigues, and you will fight for that bad relationship. You will
Yeah.
fight for that boss that won't let you have a day off. You will
Mm.
fight to to appease a friend who will never ever be there for you in a time of need.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
can't you do that for yourself?
Wow. Yeah. And that's where the breakthrough comes when you're able to confront your whys.
Mm-hmm.
Why you think you can't afford this, why you think this is going to cost you too much.
Right.
I always like to say, well, what's the cost to stay the same? Like, what are you saying no to? What are you giving up to
Mm-hmm.
stay in this life that is not making you satisfied? It's not making you happy. You're just simply at this place of, well, everything's okay, I'm content.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the greater cost, and at least I can say for myself, the greater cost was to stay the same. So there was no investment that was too great if it
Right.
was going to get me out of the situation that I was in, even moving outside of that comfort zone, right? Because we love that comfort zone. We
Yep.
get in there and it feels good. We got the pillow adjusted just right. And this is where we think we need to stay. But
Mhm.
there's so much goodness and greatness on the other side of that. And that challenge, when you challenge yourself to do something new, to try something new, that is that motivating factor. And it actually releases chemicals in your body that will help your mind to feel positivity and
That's
just to, just to go forth and be more upbeat. You won't be in that depressive mode. And like, it literally, working outside of the comfort zone, I promise you, it will literally do wonders for your mental health, for just your whole entire being. So I love those words of encouragement to just tell people, like, you know what, let's start from the beginning. Let's take a deep dive and find out why you think you can't have the greater things that you've imagined. So I think that's a great place to just make certain that people understand and feel encouraged by it. Now, I do want to highlight, before I go a little bit further, I do want to highlight, we were talking about peace. And I love it. And y'all check out my shirt. Yeah, check out my shirt. Prayers and peace. This shirt was actually created by none other than our transformational coach here, Lisette McKenzie. She is an encourager. She is an inspiration to us all. She motivates us. And she even has a tire. And I love it because my oldest son was saying to me, he was like, if I ever see you in a plain t-shirt, I'm gonna think something's wrong with you.
Something is wrong.
Because I love wearing t-shirts with these positive messages and these positive affirmations and reminders. So I love wearing this shirt, and I purposely made certain I put it on today because this shirt Lisette created has blessed me. And this is almost like my mantra, that I'm going to focus on my prayers and my peace. Like, and if you try to stop me from achieving any of those, oh, you got a problem with me. You
Yes.
got a problem indeed. So if you all like this shirt, you can definitely check out Lisette's website. And she's got so many others that I know you are going to enjoy. And honestly, I think it starts there. If you do that one thing, you say yes to yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to get a t-shirt or even a mug, because she has these nice little mugs and everything as well, coffee mugs. I'm going to I'm going to say yes to myself for this one thing. And then wearing the shirt, having the mug while you're sipping your tea or your coffee and you're reading these positive messages, you're now soaking in the encouragement, and you didn't have to do anything but purchase a shirt or purchase a mug. Right. So that was a small step that you made. It was a small investment that you made, but it's going to be a constant reminder of you. And I promise you, every time I put on this shirt or any other shirt that Lisette has created, I feel the difference. I feel the difference because I now am living up to what the shirt says, what the message says. And so it's a constant reminder for me. So I love that. And peace is definitely the ultimate goal for this girl right here. So Lisette, you just wear so many hats, and I think the community is blessed to have you as this transformational coach, meaning that you're helping people dig deep, touch those areas that they just covered up. They've covered up with a whole lot of stuff, but you help them to deep dive and uncover that and get them on the road to living that best life that they slightly imagine. They don't even have to fully imagine it, just slightly imagine it. Now, I know you had some words of encouragement that you wanted to share, or more words, I should say, for those individuals who felt as though they wanted to give up.
Yes. So one of the things, and I had to write this down.
Mhm.
One of the things that I thought about and it wasn't until after I spoke with you when you asked me to join you on here. Tomorrow is a lot closer than yesterday. You already made it to today, so the hard part for that is over. And with that, I think people just need to understand that even though it's not easy, it's coming. If you think, like I said before, if you think back to the worst days that you've ever had, and you're sitting here right now, you've made it. So that's your incentive to get over that fear to get to tomorrow. But you just got to know that you want that what it is your goal, your tomorrow holds is something that you want. And I wrote down three things that I want people to consider. The first one, stop draining yourself with things that you're not okay with, right? Because we focus so much on people pleasing, on doing things that society thinks looks right. And to us, it feels wrong, right? So we want to stop draining ourselves of all draining our energy, taking away all of our time, doing all these things that are not meant for us because other people think it's okay, right? The number one way to do that leads me to number two on my list, which is setting boundaries and being okay with losing those people that aren't for you. I think that is one of the biggest things. Don't nobody need friends that bad. Don't nobody need friends that bad. If you got people in your corner and they're not rooting for you and they're not trying to encourage you to do more and be more, those are not your people. They are space saver. They taking up space for the people that need to be in your life. Just let them go. Let them go. Let them go. They don't need to be there. There doesn't have to be any animosity. You can just silently, people are quiet quitting their jobs. You could quiet quit that friend. Let them go.
Come on now.
They're not serving you no purpose. And I say all of this, and this is literally how I speak. I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I can't handle you with kid gloves because at one point I was handled with kid gloves, and those kid gloves kept me in an unhappy situation for over 20 years. So if anybody comes to me, they have to come to me with the understanding that I'm going to hold you accountable for what you say you want. And I'm not going to tickle you. I'm not going to laugh at you because this is your life, right? This is the life that you want to live. You're going to have to either make it happen or, I mean, you can pay me. I can listen to you talk all day, but I prefer to get results. And in all honesty, I will not work with someone who's not willing to work with themselves. I don't care how much money I get paid. That's time that I'll never get back.
Yes, indeed.
And I've wasted years of time. I can't afford to do that. So number 3 on my list, and it's something that we just spoke about, is get into the habit of showing up for yourself the way you show up for everything and everybody else.
Amen.
Those are the 3 things that you need to do for yourself. Those are the things that you should be encouraged to do for yourself.
Amen. Oh, did it take? We want to make sure everybody gets all of these nuggets. We want you to see all of it. Show up for yourselves, just like you've been showing up for everybody else. Yes, I love that. I love that.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Absolutely.
There we go. We got it all there. Yeah. So we have to make certain that we are showing up for ourselves. We're setting those boundaries, and we're going to stop letting those leeches drain us.
Yes.
Because they're okay with that.
You're full. What are you talking about? That's a meal. That's breakfast, dinner. And while you sick, you're not getting no nourishment, no mental nourishment. Like, it's not worth it. Like, why do we waste our lives? And I understand that there's going to be situations where, I mean, we just go through things, but you got to learn from those experiences. You got to be willing. You got to want more for yourself, and wanting more for yourself doesn't make you selfish. Yes. That is something that people will hold over your head as long as you let them. It'll have you thinking that you are wrong for wanting to be better, for wanting to be happy.
Lisette, I need to ask you this, because not everybody is in the space where they know one about a transformational life coach. They're not in that space, so they don't really know what that means. Um, One, I want you to explain to people how they know whether or not they need a transformational life coach. Um, and what is it that they can do? Like, what's the baby step that they can do to start maybe working with you to get to this place that they say that they desire?
So the one thing that I always recommend is that people get a paper and a pen and write down their values. A lot of people don't even realize what their values are.
Hmm.
And they're living a life that does not um, support what is internally of value to them, and that's where a lot of
Hmm.
unhappiness goes. There's that fight, right? So you need to
Yeah.
recognize what your values are. Once you can identify your values, and you can go to a coach and they can help you identify your values, but honestly, these are things that only you can tell. Like, people, trying to choose my words wisely, you can pay people to do whatever you want, and they'll give you
Hmm.
what they think you want to know. I'm not in that business.
Mm.
I need you to get what you need because that's what you need.
Hmm.
I don't want nobody telling me what they think I want to hear. I don't want nobody telling me, giving me a life that they think would be good for me, right?
Right.
So you have to be willing to take that step to working on yourself. If you're not willing to work on yourself, if you want somebody to work on you for you, I'm not
Mm.
for you. I can't do it. I'm not
Wow.
that is so ingenuine. I can't help you.
Yes.
And you know
Yes.
what? It's okay to be in that space if that's the space that you're in right now, but just have a dream to want to grow out of it.
Yes.
And you can find life coaches, you can find transformation coaches. Listen, I am in a few months, I'll be graduating. I will be taking my test to become a licensed clinical mental health counselor. You might need to
Ooh.
see a clinician, you might need therapy. Come to me for that. I'll definitely work with you, but you have to have the initiative. You got to take that
Mhm.
initiative to want to help yourself. It doesn't matter what anybody says to you. If you're not ready, it's not going to work. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose time. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to hate life even more. I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
And I hate to see my sisters living a life that is just not them. That's so untrue to them. It
Hmm.
hurts. It
Amen.
truly, truly hurts. So the first step is just being true to yourself, finding out what your
Hmm.
values are, and based on those values, deciding what you want to do. And
Yes.
keeping the ball in your court. Don't give it
Hmm.
out to anybody else.
I love it. And it's the same premises as you want to lose weight, right? You want to lose weight or you want to get into shape. You go to the gym, you hire a personal trainer. Like, the personal trainer is not going to do the exercise for you. The
Right.
personal trainer is not going to cook and feed you the healthy foods. Like, you have to be willing to take the initiative.
Right.
And one of the things that I would invite everybody who's watching this, I would invite you to just connect with Lisette, right? The first step is having a conversation. And from a conversation, you and her will be able to decide if this is the right pathway for you to go, right? So it doesn't hurt to have a conversation to get started. And I want to also say, from a personal experience, one, therapy was the best thing, that one of the best things that I've ever done in my entire life. And I'm a
Absolutely.
strong, super bad sister and all of that good stuff. But there was a moment in time, and there are still moments in time where all of the stuff that I'm doing becomes a lot. It becomes heavy. And having a therapist is just like, it's almost like a housekeeper. Like, they're gonna move stuff. Okay, so let's move this over here. Let's straighten it. Because when I'm coming to them, everything's just all jumbled up in one big blob. And they're like, all right, Sheniqua, let's move this over here. Let's talk about this right here. Let's get clarity. And then they start to define the different areas in my life, and it helps me to have better clarity.
Right.
And I recommend therapy when things are good. I recommend things when things are not therapy, when things are not good.
Mhm.
Okay. Same with a transformational coach. All right, once you get transformed, honey, you want to keep growing, right? So it's
Exactly.
like pruning a tree. Like once it starts to blossom and bloom, you don't just leave it like that. You got to prune it. You got to make sure it stays in its shape and it's
Mhm.
going to continue to grow. So
Absolutely.
I would recommend people to start with a conversation,
Absolutely.
right?
And
Lizette, are they? Go ahead, love.
if they have questions, they can always email me.
Mhm.
It's LMcKenzie at lifelessonsandlovesessions.com. I'll answer your questions. I am not like, I'm here. I'm available. I'm available. It hurts me, like I said, to see my sisters just hurting. It hurts me to see them constantly making the same mistakes over and over again. I can't change that for you. No one can change that for you.
Mhm.
But if you're willing to work at it, I can work with you. I can take that journey with you. I just can't carry it for you.
Amen.
And I think
Amen.
it's unfair for anyone to make that assumption or
Mhm.
feed anyone else that lie that they can fix it for them, because no one can fix your problem for you. You're the only one that can.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So, Lizette, where else can people see you? Where else can they hear you? Where else can they get this experience of this tough love? Because I think that's how you
It
deliver it.
is.
Like it may sting a little bit, but you're gonna be better because of it. So,
It
where else
is.
can they find you?
So I do have a podcast called Between a Talk and a
Yes.
Hard Place. I will be putting out new episodes soon. I will also be reviving. It'll probably be a bi-monthly group discussion called Let's Talk Sis.
Yes, love
Um,
that.
there will be more on that, and I'll advertise it on my Instagram, Life Lessons and Love Sessions. And if you're in North Carolina, I live in North Carolina, and you do need therapy, you can see me as an intern. I am at Mind Over Matters. And I say, reach out, reach out. We can get this ball rolling.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And I'm just thankful. I'm so thankful and grateful that you said yes so that you can come here and help people to understand that they can say yes to and to shift their thinking and to knowing that they're a whole lot closer to tomorrow than they were to yesterday. So we are so grateful for that, that positivity, that encouragement. Lizette, any last words that you might want to share with everyone?
Yeah, girl, just do it. Just do it. Like
Yeah.
Sheniqua said, just do it. Life ain't waiting. That sun is
Mhm.
gonna keep rising. The moon is gonna keep rising. Just do it. It ain't gonna kill you.
That's
It ain't
right.
gonna kill you.
That's right. I love it. Well, we thank Lizette so much for joining us here today on our new series that I believe has just really been blessing people. And it is the Black Girl Encourage Her. And that is exactly what is happening. We're getting this encouragement for everyone, but it's simply coming from a Black girl's perspective. So, again, I am your host, Sheniqua Inspires, and I thank you for joining us. Make certain you are here. While you're here on my YouTube channel, please go ahead and check out my podcast, Sisterly Sundays podcast. It's just going to keep and reiterate that inspiration and that motivation that is going to help you go through your week and your weeks to come. So I thank you all so much for being my special guest here for the Black Girl Encourage Her. And be certain to check out the next segment that will be coming to you real soon. So you all have a very, very blessed evening, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Take care. God bless.